Hey everyone, it's Tracy here, and today I'm going to be making a card using the watercolor stamping technique. So I'm going to be using the basic gray What's Up 6x6 paper pad, and I just selected one of the pattern papers in there. It's got some blues, purples, oranges, and greens in it. And I'm going to set that off to the side after I cut it down to fit my A2 card base. And I'm going to be using the WPlus9 Folk Art Florals stamp set. And then I have my Distress inks that I'm going to be using Dusty Concord, Chip Sapphire, Ripe Persimmon, and Peeled Paint. So I'm just going to pick one of the flowers, and I'm starting with the Ripe Persimmon stamp. I'm going to put the ink on my stamp and then spray it with my mini mister. As you can tell, I just did a little sample right there, and it turned out really wet and not quite what I wanted. So I tried it again using a little less water. It was a little bit better, but still the same. I like the way the card turned out, but I'm not particularly sure I actually like this technique yet. I practiced a little bit, and it's really hard to do to get the right amount of water and to make the stamp actually look like it's supposed to. So next I'm going to be taking the Chip Sapphire ink, and then I have a smaller flower, and I'm going to stamp that 4 times, one on each side of the orange flower that I already stamped. And each time I'm doing this, I'm wiping my stamp off because there's a lot of water that gets on there, and I don't want it dripping onto my paper or anything, so it's just a little tip. And I actually found that as I was doing it, if I tilted the stamp while I sprayed, it didn't get on it as much water. So it just, like I said, it just takes a little practice to get it right, and I still have much more practice to do on this technique. And I think it might also work better if the flowers or your stamped image is a little bit bigger than the ones that I was doing. So then you don't get as much water per spray on there. And now I'm taking the purple ink and a smaller flower stamp. So I'm just stamping that on each side of the blue one. So 4 times again. And then for the leaves, I'm taking the Peeled Paint Distress ink, and I'm actually not spraying this with water. I'm just putting the ink on the stamp and stamping it. I decided that I thought I would make some of it look nice, because otherwise I feel like it just looks like I don't know how to stamp. So I wanted to make part of it actually clear. And now I'm just trying to find the sentiment that I want to put into the middle. And I'm going to use the one that I actually used on a card the other day. So that one is up on my blog if you want to see that card. But it says, "Time spent with friends is time well spent." And I stamped that in the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Okay, and I'm just going to bring out my pattern paper and my card base again so I can put the rest of the card together. So I'm going to adhere that part on just with some adhesive. And then the stamp part, I'm going to put foam adhesive on the back so that it stands up a little bit. And for the white cardstock that I used the 110-pound Coordinations cardstock. You want to use a really heavy cardstock when you're doing this, just so that your paper doesn't warp very much. Otherwise, the more water you add on there, the more it's going to warp. And this didn't take long at all to dry. but if you do get too much water, you might want to use a heat tool to dry it. So now I'm going to add some sequins onto that, and I'm just kind of playing around to see where I like them on the card. And I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi-Glue to glue those down. It takes just a drop. You can also use glossy accents if you don't have the Mono Multi-Glue. Okay, and then I thought the centers of the flowers needed something more, so I'm going to take some white liquid pearls and just add a drop to the orange flowers and then to the purple flowers. Alright, and there's my completed watercolor stamped card. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!